Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nomad Travel Adventure. Simon here, and I am getting ready to continue my Vlogmas and take you through the rest of Vienna. Top things to do while you're here. I really wanted to thank you guys. I don't know who's watching these videos, but I thank you guys so much. If you haven't already done so, do subscribe to my channel. And with that being said, guys, I did just wake up like not too long ago. I'm getting a super late start. It's about 10:30, and that means I've got to get on the move. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go get breakfast. I'll include that in my food video, which will be coming out shortly, so you guys can watch out for that. Then I'm probably just going to take you through the rest of Vienna. As you can see, I'm currently at my hostel right now, and it's called Wombat City Hostel. It's a really great hostel overall, but I just have one complaint, okay? I just want to show you guys something really quickly. I mean, look. One bathroom. One bathroom only. I mean, there's so many people that stay here. I know so many hotels that have millions of bathrooms on all floors, so I am waking up this morning and someone's in there. And guess what? I really have to go. So what do? I go to the only other available bathroom, which is all the way on the ground floor. So I had to run down the stairs 5 floors just to be able to go to the bathroom. So yeah, if they just fix that nice little thing, would be great. I mean, everything else, awesome. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go. I will catch you later. Today, I got a very late start. Woke up way later than anticipated, and there's so much to do in Vienna. I stayed at Wombat's hostel, which is really great, but how can it be possible that I only have access to 2 bathrooms, one of those being 5 floors down from my room? If Homeboy hadn't been using it in the morning, I would have been fine. Either way, the location is great, and it's a well-oiled hostel machine. After a sweet breakfast, I headed directly to my next destination, and since I started the previous day with the palace, I thought it was only fitting to go to the Imperial Palace, or as they like to call it here, the HOFBURG. As soon as I arrived, I knew it had to be the place. It wasn't just massive, but had a very regal and powerful presence. Unlike the previous day, it was quite sunny, so I wanted to explore a bit before heading inside. This place was magical. It felt like I was back to that story where I pretended to be a prince roaming around the streets while waiting for the carriage that would take me back to the palace. The streets were filled with tourists and there were actual carriages. I started to get cold again and decided it was time to head inside. I got confused because I didn't see a direct entrance, but after asking one of the locals, they informed me that the palace consisted of 3 exhibits: the Silver Collection, Sisi Museum, and the Imperial Apartments. Finally headed in the right direction, I bought my ticket for 14 euros and headed inside. The Silver Collection was up first, which was basically a showcase of all the kitchen and house stuff they would use in the palace. Once again, I started seeing everything come to life, as I was back in the story of Beauty and the Beast, and the kitchenware sang a chorus of Be Our Guest. But I had had enough of the Silver Collection, and it was time to head over to the Sisi Museum, which was a display on the life of Empress Elizabeth all the way through her tragic death. Afterwards, I would see some of the well-preserved rooms in their original state at the Imperial Apartments exhibition. No cameras were allowed, so I wasn't able to get you the tour, but I would say this is definitely a must-do. Alright guys, so we just got done with the Imperial Palace. It was pretty cool actually. I was a bit confused at first just trying to get in because I thought it would be like the palace that we did yesterday, and so I wanted to start off with the palace, and I thought, you know, hey, I'm just gonna go in and there's gonna be a bunch of rooms and they're gonna explain the rooms, but it wasn't like that. They actually had like 3 different sections, and I didn't know that. So whenever I bought the ticket, they kind of explained it to me. They have the silver collection, which, you know, at first you'll get to see like all the silverware, all the kitchen stuff that they used, and then you go upstairs and then you go to the Sisi Museum, which is basically the Empress's museum. She was quite the character. And then the third section of it was just the apartment. So basically it would take you into the different rooms, and that was pretty cool because it just made you feel like you were living in some really fancy place. And I just imagined myself and I'd be ballin', chandeliers everywhere. If you get a chance, definitely go see this. I recommend it. It'll take you into a different mindset for sure. But anyways, I am gonna go warm up a little bit. I'm gonna get, yeah, you know it, my favorite, some Starbucks. And then we will head on to the next destination. What will it be? I guess you will just have to wait and see. It was time for a little coffee break, so I headed through the downtown area, which was so regal. The decorations warmed my Christmas spirit, and it was amazing. After getting my daily dose of Starbucks, it was time to get back on the march. Seriously, the city was so incredible. I was in awe of all my surroundings. It was starting to get dark, which meant I had to get a move on. Otherwise, I wouldn't make it to the Belvedere Museum. It was rush hour, so it was difficult getting around, but an hour and a half before closing, I made it to the museum. The Belvedere Museum houses the greatest collection of Austrian art dating from the Middle Ages to the present day, complemented by the works of international artists as well. I've heard it's best to get there before dark so you can see how beautiful it is outside, but I had gotten a late start, so I headed inside buying my ticket for just 15 euros. It was pretty spectacular with the statues in the huge rooms nicely decorated inside. If there's one thing that Vienna never seemed to disappoint on, it was the architecture. But after exploring a bit, it was time to get back to the main reason I had come. The Kiss by Gustav Klimt is probably one of the most famous oil paintings in the world. The Austrian symbolist painter Gustav Klimt painted it between 1907 and 1908. It's considered a masterpiece of the early modern period, and it was awesome to see how he worked with the colors during that time. The museum had other exhibits to check out, but I was getting low on energy, so it was time to go. Hey guys, so I am at the museum, and I did come a little late. I wish I had been here a little earlier, but it was really cool. I got to see the Kiss. The reason I wanted to come here earlier is because I went outside and there was like this thing that it looked like a courtyard or something, and I bet during the daytime it's really cool. You kind of get a small view of the city as well, so if you do decide to come, try to come a little earlier than I did, not at nighttime. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I liked that there weren't that many people here, so it wasn't a hassle to get in at all, but I am so tired. I am gonna go grab something to eat. Make sure you check out my food video when it does come out. That's gonna be the next thing coming out, so check it out. But I think I'm gonna take you one last place before I call it a night. The museum had been quite interesting, but it was time for another holiday adventure back on the streets of Vienna, so I headed to the Christmas market near Vienna's City Hall. It is one of the largest Christmas markets, and the energy I felt was very uplifting. This wasn't just any Christmas market, this was the market. Low on energy, I decided to fill up with one of their delicious hot dogs they were selling. They would take out the inner part of the French bread, put ketchup inside, and then stuff the sausage into it. It was the best hot dog I think I've ever had. And there were other stands with many different things as well. Foods, sweets, holiday decorations, glühwein wine, and toys. There was something for everyone, and although it was freezing cold, everyone was having a great time. It was quite amazing getting to see the hustle and bustle during this time of the year, and I didn't think a Christmas market would bring such a huge crowd. There was even ice skating at this market, and for just 8 euros you could go around the ice rinks for as long as you wanted. This definitely put things into perspective as I fully realized that I was in Vienna and it was notorious for its Christmas markets. I'm just glad I got to experience a small glimpse of what it was like to spend the holiday season here. Hey guys, that Christmas market was pretty freaking awesome. I mean, my toes are literally frozen. I can't feel them right now. I don't think I was wearing the right shoes, but it was totally worth it. It was a little bigger than the last one that I went to, and These people just really know how to put the Christmas spirit together, you know. Everyone was gathered around drinking their glüh wine, and I even got to have a hot dog, which was really good. Anyways, I think I'm gonna head back to the hostel. I want you guys to stay tuned because tomorrow morning I am going to take you to the very last place before I say goodbye to Vienna. So don't tune out, stay there, and just wait for me. I'll be back in the morning, okay? Good night. Hey, welcome back, travelers. Simon here. It is my last day in Vienna, and I don't really have a lot of time because I have a plane to catch at 5. So I'm going to take you through one last stop, and hopefully you will enjoy what I have in store for you. Okay, so it was my last couple of hours in Vienna, which means I had to make the most of my time. My stomach was pretty empty as my last meal had been the hot dog at the Christmas market, so I decided to start the morning off with a Vienna pastry that reminded me of a glazed cinnamon roll. Then I headed off to get my daily dose of Starbucks. It would be time to go to the Schönbrunn Gardens soon, so after finishing off my coffee, I headed in search of my next destination. Just walking through the area was amazing, as this was a different side of Vienna I had not seen before. The buildings were more homey, and it seemed like this was more of a residential area. Walking through, I saw little boutiques as the car sped through the streets. Finally, I arrived at the entrance. It was pretty quaint, and inside it was more like a park. The wind was blowing the leaves off the trees, and it reminded me of fall. But don't get it twisted. This was winter, as the temperatures were freezing. Still, it was a pleasant and long stroll through the huge park where I saw several reference points like the zoo and the botanical gardens. There were so many things to see along the way, and the park was filled with ravens flying through the fountains and trees. Finally, I arrived at the Schönbrunn Palace, which I had seen the previous day. This was like its giant backyard, and I headed towards the Neptune fountain, which was a spectacle of its own. You could go up towards the top to get a better view of the palace and the entire city of Vienna. Once you continue upwards, you will reach the Schönbrunn Gloriette, which reminded me of a gate, only there was a restaurant inside. It was also open on the sides, and as always, the architecture was simply stunning. It was time to get my tea on inside Café Gloriette, where many come to enjoy an Imperial breakfast and enjoy the amazing view. Hey guys, we made it to the top. I am freezing, but I really wanted to take you to the Schönbrunn Gardens. You know, I always like to end my trips by going somewhere where you can just walk outside, relax, and enjoy the beautiful sights. But I will say I was so cold, I had to go into the cafeteria whenever I got up there. I was like, I just want to go inside right now because I'm freezing. Had some tea, warmed up, and now I think I'm gonna head back because I do have a flight to catch. I just wanted to thank you once again for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, you can subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button below. I would really appreciate that. I know lots of you guys are watching, and I would love to hear some feedback as well, so leave a comment. Anyways, guys, I will be posting a lot more videos, so be on the lookout for those. I want to just wish you happy holidays, guys. Hope you enjoy it. This is Nomad. I'm signing out. See ya. Like my videos? Subscribe for more.